What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/Today I Fudged Up, my favorite, or one of my favorite subreddits, getting its own episode.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.
This story's called Today I Fudged Up by trying to gift my boyfriend some sweet undies and subsequently spoiling his surprise proposal plans. Love the alliteration there. Fun. About 3 weeks ago, I began preparations to get a nice gift for my boyfriend, who I'll call Ray, to celebrate 4 years of dating. We live in a terribly humid place, and all summer he's been complaining about how sweaty his ass and balls get whenever he goes outside. He's been buying the same brand of cotton boxer briefs since we started dating. I thought it would be a nice homage to our great relationship, a great way to take care of the butt I get to squeeze on the regular, to splurge on a male subscription service to some silky, micromodal underwear. They are pricey, but known for being wicking, cooling, and overall very nice on the buns and balls. I ordered the first pair to present to him on the day of, and set up for a pair to be delivered monthly thereafter. I used his email on the sign-up so that I could simply pass on the account to him after the first pair came. That way, he'd have full power to pick his colors and style every month, and easily return any if there were unexpected problems. One small problem. The receipt for this whole transaction is now resting in his email where he can find it and spoil my surprise. I sneakily hacked into his computer while he was out, by which I mean I entered the password he shared with me because he foolishly trusted me not to wreck his crap, and opened up his email. I simply archived the existing emails and set it up so that the future emails from the company would be auto-marked as read and archived as well. I know how to do this because I'm a brilliant hacker. I googled it. While carefully double-checking my devious work, just to ensure nothing slipped through the cracks, a new email pinged on arrival and caught my attention. A shipping confirmation for an engagement ring. I immediately noped off his computer, and of course, I didn't open the email, but the damage is done. Secrets out. My heart fell right through my butt, you guys. I actually died, and now I'm ghostwriting this. Oh, ghostwriting. Oh, you missed an opportunity there, man. I probably should have pretended I never saw that and taken the secret to my grave, but I was too pumped and couldn't keep it in. Within the hour, I broke down and called Ray to sheepishly confess what I had done. He wasn't angry, but sadly disappointed that I spoiled the surprise. Here's the kicker. He didn't actually propose yet and still intends to make a thing out of it. My punishment for snooping is that the suspense is killing me. I've been forbidden from telling anyone that we're getting engaged until it's officiated. Every time we go out, the suspense that this may be the night drives me crazy. A romantic date at the beach the other evening ended with me saying, "Damn, I thought for sure we were getting engaged tonight." "Why would you think that I'm gonna propose to you?" he said. "That sounds like something you wouldn't know about because I keep it secret in my personal email." Now he started intermittently faking me out. The other day, he walked into the kitchen and presented me with a little hinged box, which turns out to contain a tie pin from his work. He keeps getting down on one knee, looking up at me and saying, "Gotta tie this shoe." The emotional stress of keeping this exciting secret within me, not sharing it with coworkers or family or anyone, is maddening. Every false start sends my heart right back into my butt. One more thing, I somehow screwed up the email settings. The shipping confirmation for the underwear didn't get archived on arrival, and he saw it within a few hours. So that surprise got spoiled too. Turns out I'm not a master hacker, and my attempts have only brought woe into this house. I guess it's not all bad. He reports that the pair of boxer briefs that arrived are very nice to wear, and I do enjoy squeezing his buns in them. If we ever do actually get married, it'll be nice to be hitched to a guy with sweet, silky buns and balls. Well, that's a cute little story. However, I thought you had confessed to going through his email, or not necessarily going through it, but just opening his email. How did you explain your snooping behaviors? Because if he just found out from the email that arrived and not from you telling him, I'm confused as to what? Anyways, that was a cute story. I'm glad it's worked out more or less, but you just delayed your engagement by at least 4 months. This story's called Today I Fudged Up by Taking LSD and Pretending to be French for 10 Months. Throwaway for reasons. So this was more of a screw up that happened quite a while ago, which only just caught up to me a few weeks ago, so also not today. About 11 months ago, I moved into a new house as a temporary sort of thing until I could get the money together to sort something out properly. I was hoping to have already moved out by this point. On my second day after I finished unpacking, I decided to break the house in with a nice acid trip. I brought some with me that I'd recently bought but not had the chance to use yet. Things were going well with the trip, but then it seemed to be getting really intense and I quickly realized that the tabs were much stronger than I had been told they were. And I thought being locked up in the unfamiliar house wasn't helping me relax. So I figured the best thing to do to relax would be to go for a stroll because I was starting to get pretty overwhelmed at that point. So I left the house to start my walk and my next door neighbor happened to be just arriving at the same time. It's a street of tightly packed terraced houses, so next door's door is about 1 meter away from mine. I'd not met anybody on my street yet and didn't realize this was a friendly, tight-knit community where people talk to each other. She said something along the lines of,
"Hello, nice to meet you. My name's..."
her name.
"Are you new to the area?"
So basically, I do this thing sometimes when people try to sell me things on the street, etc., where I pretend I can't speak English. I remember a few words from my GCSE French, so I just say some nonsense sentences, and then people usually leave me alone. In the state I was in, this conversation seemed it would be way too intense for me, and French just sort of came to me as my default response to the situation. My exact words were, "Je voudrais une boulangerie." There was an attempt. And I shrugged my shoulders a bit with a weak smile. She just left me to it after that, and I got on my way. I did my walk and got home about 2 hours later. I was tripping majorly, so the walk ended up taking a lot longer than it needed to. When I got home, though, my next door neighbor was standing in her doorway talking to another neighbor who was standing outside. I tried to keep my head down because I couldn't handle any more human interaction, but she waved at me and said, "Bonjour." So I instinctively returned the bonjour and got inside my house as fast as possible. When I got in, I started freaking out straight away because I realized that I'd just become French and now 2 of the neighbors think I can't speak any English. The next day, when I woke up, I realized the best I could do, as an Englishman, was just live with the lie for the rest of my short stay in this house to avoid the excruciating embarrassment of having pretended to be French for seemingly no reason. Fast forward 10 months, I still live here, and at this point, I'm in deep. My life on the street is a web of lies. I've perfected my French accent over the course of 10 months. French me has learned a decent amount of English so he can hold disjointed conversation. I'd gotten to know the neighbors pretty well, and I was the nice, quirky French guy on the street. I didn't let the lie slip ever because every day and every conversation I had just meant that it would be even worse if anyone ever discovered I wasn't French. If I had friends come over, I don't have many so it wasn't too bad, they knew to never speak to the neighbors because of my strange situation. Most of them found it amusing, at least. Things were going okay, and I wasn't too worried about being exposed anymore because I'd gotten so used to it. I'm not home that much, and when I am, I rarely leave the house for any reason, so I only had to do it for maybe 5 minutes a day when I was out on my street. If anything, it was a nice way to spice up my day when I got to take on my French persona. French me, somehow, had much better social skills than the real me, even if his English was a bit limited. But then there was the day it all came crashing down. I was walking to my car and saw one of my neighbors coming towards me from the opposite direction with someone else next to her I didn't recognize. She stopped to say hi, as she normally does, and then she says to her friend,
"This is LP, the guy I was telling you about."
You might be able to see where this is going. Her friend hits me with a question in French that I didn't understand a word of. And I knew he was actually French straight away because his accent was way better than mine. I didn't know what to do and I just froze. Every second that went past just made it so much more painful, and after way too long of a pause, I just decided I had to come clean. I told her I wasn't actually French and couldn't speak French, and then I tried to play it off like some kind of practical joke I'd been doing on everyone. Nobody was buying that. I fast walked straight to my car and then let the embarrassment just swallow me for a while. I haven't spoken to any of my neighbors since, some of which I'd struck up a friendly relationship with over those 10 months. I make sure nobody is around whenever I leave the house, and I do a loop around the block in my car if any of my neighbors are walking down the street when I get home so that I never come into contact with them. Every time I think about the day I was discovered, the embarrassment physically hurts me. Edits. I didn't think this post was going to catch much attention, and I'm praying none of my neighbors use Reddit and see this and decide to come over to talk to me about all this. Some people seem to have a hard time believing that I thought keeping it going for 10 months would actually be a good idea. I'd like to remind people that when I made the decision to keep it up, this was supposed to be a very temporary living situation for me. Honestly, you should have just come clean right away after that first encounter, obviously. Oh, I wasn't really feeling well, and I kinda panicked and spoke in French, which is something I kinda do, and just tell her everything you told us, and then it's fine. They're like, oh, I understand. Well, it was nice meeting you, da-da-da-da-da, and now you have a cool little introduction story thing. And you'll be seen as charming and funny once you admit your faults. And everyone doesn't see it as a bad thing because you're admitting it and you're being open about it and you're putting it out there in the open, so it's not weird. I swear so many of these problems could be avoided if you're just open and honest about it, man. I mean, you could have at least taken the time to learn some more French just in case something like this ever happened. Oh man, well, that's that. This story's called Today I Fudged Up a Marriage. Obligatory, this didn't happen today, but a couple of weeks ago. So I sometimes drive for rideshare companies to make extra cash and keep me off of the couch. I live in a touristy area that booms during summer months, and vacation rental homes are common. So common that I sometimes do pickups and drop-offs at the same houses for different people week to week, and family-friend groups of people renting the homes are the norm. One particular day, I dropped off a guy at a beautiful home near the beach that I had picked up a guy from just an hour or two prior. So as we arrive, I mention this to the rider. Hey, I just picked up one of your buddies from here about an hour ago.
No, must be the wrong house.
Nope, he walked right out of that side door. I dropped him off at name's local bar. His girlfriend is still in there though, she stayed behind. I had seen her kiss him goodbye at the door, but didn't mention this to the rider. You guys having a family-friend vacation?
This is a family-owned home. It's been in my family for years and we don't rent it out. Nobody lives here but me and my wife, and I've been in New York for work the past 4 days.
Awkward silence as we both come to the realization. He got out and I drove away scolding myself for having such a big mouth. Thanks for all the support, you guys. I know I did nothing wrong, I just hate being involved in other people's businesses, especially when it's so negative. Man, that is actually really sad. Ladies, don't cheat on your men when they're gone for work. Also, guys, don't be the one that she cheats with, cause come on, that's messed up, and then running away before they even get home. Come on, that's just drive-by buttholery, man. This story's called Today I Fudged Up by asking Reddit which ethnic group to exterminate. Today I had been looking forward to the qualifying for the Formula 1 this weekend, and was browsing Reddit whilst also watching some older Formula 1 footage on YouTube. So it got me wondering. Some of these races used to really get me super excited for them. Now they're just boring and far too controlled. So I posed the question to r/Formula 1 to ask their opinions also. Shortly after posting, it transpired that the way I had asked the question could also be perceived as a little, Hitlerish. It somehow grabbed the attention of many people and managed to get to number 1 of r/all, and now my inbox is broken. Unfortunately for me, I am very anally retentive with things such as emails, texts, that I must open every single one. It would actually play on my mind so badly that I wouldn't be able to sleep if I didn't open them. So I must open and read every goddamn comment. Probably the worst thing to have to feel the need to do if you plan on making it to the front page. I thought it was slowing down because it got to a point where I was reading messages faster than they were coming, and the number of notifications was going down. But then everything changed when the Fire Nat USA woke up, and I've been playing catch up ever since. Took an opportunity to make this post since the message count was less than 100. Let's see what I go back to now. And the question is, if you could eliminate a race within the year, Which would it be, and why? From my perspective, and it's not going to be a popular one, but it would have to be Monaco. As years have gone by, it's become too much of a procession or parade than a race for me. Not enough space or opportunities to overtake on the circuit, making it more of a team tactics battle rather than a race. I do like the addition of some of the recent circuits such as Singapore and Azerbaijan, as they have great opportunities for overtaking with some smart planning on the driver's part. The original post has now made it to be #1 post of all time in r/Formula 1 somehow. As of 19:42 p.m. GMT, I still have over 600 responses to read through. I'll be reading them all, but I won't necessarily be responding to them. I'm really glad that I can make a lot of you smile and laugh today. That wasn't the original intention, but it's a great positive to take away from this experience. Well, that's an interesting mess up, and good job. That's really creative wording on your part.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.